Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. What a person perceives, a person believes. You've probably heard these quotes and many more around the power of how we look at our life, and where our attention goes, our life seems to flow. So this week, I wanted to talk about the power of mindset in relationship to procrastination and how we can use our mindset to help us move forward, or sometimes how it can actually become a roadblock to us reaching our best possible future. This week's show is brought to you by the Catalyst community, the first ever of its kind hub for ambitious procrastinators in midlife. Doors are opening April 2nd, and we begin to roll up our sleeves and dive into getting your dreams across the finish line May 1st. To get onto the waitlist and to be the first to hear when doors open, please just go to petrakolber.com/wisdom to sign up. So before I dive into mindset and specifically the work by Carol Dweck, a question I get asked so very often is, what is the difference between mindset and mindfulness? The interesting thing is both of these go hand in hand, but when I think about mindset, to me, it's more about our outlook on life. Do we see the glass as half full or half empty? Are we a benefit seeker or a fault finder? Do we poke holes in things or do we help fix the problem at hand? So it's more about when I get up in the morning, do I choose to look for the good, or am I going to kind of be beaten up by the day and how it kind of throws me around? So that to me is mindset. It's more how we can use our own mind to become our own best friend and allow us to step into our day with a more positive attitude than a negative. Mindfulness is what we think of when we think of meditation, using our breath to ground ourselves, being in the present moment. Here's the thing, the more mindful you are, the healthier your mindset will become. And the more you work on creating a positive and growth mindset, the easier it will be for you to be in the moment. So both of these go hand in hand and complement each other beautifully. As we strengthen one, the other benefits. But today I want to talk specifically about our mindset, especially in relationship to procrastination. Positive psychology, the work that I have studied for many years, is really about how we have a choice to use our mind and build our strengths and learn and teach ourselves how to focus more on what is going well than looking at the gaps and what could be going wrong. And I think because of all the discussion around mindset and fixed mindset and growth mindset that was happening in the positive psychology world, a small but powerful book called Mindset by Carol Dweck suddenly came back onto the New York Times bestseller. And she was the first to kind of coin this idea of a fixed versus growth mindset. So I'm going to read to you a description of both. And then in a moment, I'm going to give you 5 questions to ponder when it comes to you and your life, and that you can use to decide whether you are a growth mindset or a fixed mindset in any of these areas. And if you should be a fixed mindset, what you can do to move over into a growth mindset. As with any science, when it comes back into the forefront, we tend to run with it. So there are a couple of years there where people were saying, well, I'm a growth mindset or I'm a fixed mindset. Carol Dweck encourages us to look at our life from varying lenses. I might be a growth mindset when it comes to my meaning and purpose and work and friendships. I might, air quotes, have more of a fixed mindset when it comes to dating and romantic relationships. And so this podcast is really just helping you shine a lens on your life, and then you can decide where you may or may not want to make some changes. So I'm going to go over the 2 mindsets and look at how we'll have the same challenge, but viewed from one of these mindsets will either open the door to opportunity or it will shut us down and probably make us want to procrastinate and delay even more. So let me go over the fixed mindset first. And if you feel that any of these relate to you, don't judge yourself. Simply use the lens of, that is interesting. I wonder where that thought or belief or idea came from. No judgment, just data. So a fixed mindset believes that intelligence is static. And what happens is this leads us to a desire to look smart, and therefore we have a tendency to view challenges as obstacles. And so when they see obstacles, they will give up easily. They also see effort as fruitless or worthless. So why even try? They will take criticism on as a personal affront and ignore it completely. They'll just view it as more data that, see, I knew I wasn't good enough or smart enough or young enough to get started. And they'll view the success of others as a threat. They won't look at it as a celebration of what is possible. They'll use it as a scale of comparison. And in turn, they often plateau early and never even reach what is possible for them. So that is a fixed mindset. Now, remember, this is not either or. There could be parts of this in your life that you go, oh, yeah, that's me in this area of my life. But let's look at the growth mindset now and see where this might relate to you. A person with a growth mindset believes that intelligence can be developed, which leads to a desire to learn. And so they tend to embrace challenges. This is something that excites them. And in spite of obstacles, they will persist. They'll use the obstacles as a way to learn, to stretch themselves, to grow. They will see effort as a path to mastery, something that just builds on their strengths and their skill sets and helps them move into the person they have yet to become. They learn from criticism. They're able to separate who they are from what they do. And they are inspired by other people's success. And they use it as a lens of what is possible in this world. And all of this gives them a sense of freedom and playfulness and the ability to be curious. And quite often they will succeed further than they ever thought possible. So you can only imagine when it comes to procrastination and us not getting our goals and dreams across the finish line, how powerful our mindset is. Now, again, this is not a this or that, but I want you to just consider right now, what is one part of your life where you are procrastinating on? And can you see that there might be a fixed mindset behind all the doubts and the delays and the not doing? So I'm going to offer to you right now 5 questions, and think about the areas of your life where you really want to stop delaying, where you really want to start taking action. And listen to the question, reflect on it, write it down, journal on it if you wish, and see if this can be a little doorway for you to step through and begin to not change your mindset overnight, but to have an awareness around it where you can go, oh, this is interesting. This is an area that maybe I'm seeing myself in a fixed way. And what steps can I take to give myself more playfulness, more room to stretch and expand, and allow myself to fail along the way without seeing that setback as proof or data that I shouldn't be doing this, that I'm not talented enough, that I'm too late, and put whatever excuse you often put right there. I have plenty of them, trust me. So you heard me say earlier, what a person perceives, a person believes. So when it comes to your self-perception, how do you view your capabilities and potential? Do you see your ability to learn and grow and change and adapt as something that's static, that is something that you did at school or in university and now it's too late? Or do you see this as something that you're still excited to do, that you've learned a lot, but you're not done yet, that you haven't come this far to only get this far? And do you believe that with effort and perseverance, you can continue to grow and learn and stretch yourself as you move your dreams closer to the finish line? Think now about your approach to any challenge. Do you tend to face challenges with a sense of resilience and grit and can-do-it attitude, or I can learn, or I can ask for help? Or do you view challenges as proof that you shouldn't be doing this? This is a big one when it comes to procrastination. When we look at a challenge as something to be overcome versus a thing that we can use to learn more about ourselves, we can either view it as a gateway to our best possible future or as a roadblock and more proof that we shouldn't be doing this anyway. And it just gives us more fuel either to push through, put action behind our dreams and move procrastination to the sidelines, or it will allow us just to stop, delay, doubt ourselves, and move into more inaction, which in my opinion is also an action. We retreat into the shadows and don't even begin to see what we are capable of. Do you tend to embrace challenges as an opportunity to grow and learn? Or do you perhaps tend to avoid them from a fear of failure? Remember, I think I've said this before, FAIL, first attempts in learning, but only you and your brain get to decide how you want to view a challenge, opportunity or threat? It's up to you. Question number 3, when it comes to something that you're delaying or something you haven't done yet, what is your response to feedback? Or I like to call it feed forward, useful information and data that's given to you to help you move closer to the person you have yet to become. Do you use this data and take it really personally and feel discouraged? Or do you use this data as fuel for your best possible future and use it as information that you can use to learn and grow? Question number 4, another big one, your commitment to goal setting. When you think about your dream goal, that goal that you haven't done yet, that whisper that just will not go away, how deep is your commitment? This is where mindset can really come into play. A resilient mindset that bounces back from setbacks, that recognizes that a failure is not proof that they're not worthy. It's just more useful information of what they could do more efficiently on the next iteration. When you think about the goal that you set for yourself, are you able to show up for the long game, to weather the ups and the downs, the circles, the dance with success and failure? Can you keep going for the long game? Or do you easily lose motivation when faced with difficulties? Again, use the lens of appreciative inquiry, meaning there's no judgment here. We're just going through the lens of, oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that about myself. And now I have an awareness, I can take inspired action. The first step is awareness. And then the last question, what is your definition of success and failure? What does success mean to you? What does failure mean to you? Do you associate any failures with a lack of talent or that fixed mindset that it's too late or you just are not smart enough? What does success mean to you? And what does failure mean to you? In my opinion, there is no such thing as failure. The only place we can fail is if we never try. Because in each iteration, we are learning more about ourselves, more about our capabilities, more even about where we still need to strengthen some skills. But that is not a personal assault against us. Again, it's just data. Make sure you're measuring the right metrics. So you might be wondering, well, where does my mindset come from? Where does my fixed mindset come from? Why am I growth mindset over here and a fixed mindset over there? We are influenced by so many outside sources. From a coach saying you can do anything with effort, from another coach saying you're not smart enough, you'll never make it. Much of our mindset was almost given to us by mentors or coaches, especially in our younger and formative years. But here is the amazing and wonderful and exciting news that just makes my heart come alive. You have the power. It is never too late. You are never too old to change your mind. And when you can reflect on your own mindset of where you'd like to keep the parts of you that are serving you so well and helping you move towards your best possible future, and then maybe through the lens of curiosity going, this part of my mindset is not bringing out the best of me, you then have the power to create a life that brings you alive. You don't have to leave it up to your past. You don't need to leave it up to other people. You get to put the power back into your hands, back into your mind. It takes work. I call it the heart work. And remember, these beliefs and your mindset was not created overnight. But when you take the time to reflect on your own mindset, it has the power for you to unlock your own potential and step through a doorway into a life that is waiting for you. I have said in the past, are you having thoughts or are your thoughts having you? When we can bring awareness to the power of our thoughts and our mindset, you have the power to change anything. And you, just as much as anyone else, are deserving of a life full of possibility and getting your dreams across the finish line. And in doing so, you will inspire others to do the same.